What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. I know it's a little late, but today I'm going to be unboxing and reviewing this iPhone 13 Pro Max. Now I've got with me this Sierra Blue version as well as this gold version. One for me and one for my wife. In addition to that, I've also got with me the AirPods 3 as well as the MagSafe power pack, which I'll also be unboxing in this video. So stay tuned and we'll check all of these things out. Now, this year's model of the iPhone 13 Pro Max is very much the same design as last year's model of the iPhone 12 Pro Max, with some slight improvements. But before we get into those details, let's go ahead and unbox these to see what we get. So, as you can see, Apple is being more conservative when it comes to the packaging of their boxes. That doesn't change the fact that they're still designed very well, and the color scheme is still uniform all across, and I love the black box. So let's start with this Sierra Blue phone and unpackage that to see what we get. So still the same ease of unpackaging the boxes by just tearing away the tabs and then lifting off the cover. So as you can see, this is the new Sierra Blue color. It looks like a lighter blue than last year's Pacific Blue. And I'll go ahead and remove this case so you can compare. So as you can see, last year's model of the Pacific Blue is just slightly darker, but it's still got that great mirror finish for the Apple logo as well as the aluminum sides. And even the sides are a little bit lighter this year. Now I have a hard time deciding which blue I like best just because blue is my favorite color, but I like both of these. They've both got a great color to them, and I'm glad that Apple is finally using blue in their color scheme. So, like the other iPhones, just remove. I like how there are the symbols for what the buttons are, and then you just easily just peel off the cover. So this is the phone, and then as usual, I think you get your SIM pin, little booklet, and then one Apple sticker. Now, what I did notice is it's only one white sticker. It doesn't come with a sticker that's the color of the phone, so that's something new. Okay, then you also get a USB-C to Lightning port adapter or charger. So now if I was to compare this year's model to last year's model, they should be the same size. So yeah, as you can see, they're exactly the same size. I'd say the only difference in design is probably the camera. So the camera bump looks like it's a little bigger, but then it also pops out just a little bit more. I assume that's for the new camera technology that's built into this phone. In addition to that, you'll also notice, which you can't see right now, there's a smaller notch compared to last year's model, which has a slightly larger notch as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and unbox the gold one. So as you can see, the gold one is also pretty nice. And compared to last year's model, and my wife has the smaller one, the Pro, versus now upgrading to the Pro Max. The gold is also slightly more of a gold color, which is not bad. And then on the sides, and I'm putting fingerprints all over it, the side aluminum is pretty much the same. But when it comes to the back glass color, last year's model is just slightly lighter than this year's. Okay, and from a size perspective, definitely a lot bigger. So I think my wife will be happy with that because she gets more screen real estate versus the Pro. Okay, so again, peel off the lid and you've got your gold version. So I do love the design and look of these phones. And again, same accessories for the gold phone. Okay, so let's go ahead and power this on and go through the setup. Okay, your standard welcome screen. Swipe up, English, select your region. And because I want to do this again, and I usually set up my phones as new rather than transfer anything over, so I will set that up. automatically detects your phone number, then it activates your phone. So this has a dual SIM, but this one's got the built-in eSIM, so I don't need to go and stick my SIM in. So it automatically installs and sets up my phone number and takes and deactivates my old phone. Okay, then we'll set up our Face ID. So this is where you have to just look around. I always feel like an idiot when I'm doing this. Okay, my passcode. And what's cool is to set it up, all you have to do is bring your phone right next to it and click transfer directly from phone. And it'll detect it, and you click continue, and it'll transfer all your settings over. Nope, I powered that off. Okay, and then all you have to do is scan the image, and then it'll set up your phone. And then that's it. And while those phones are setting up, I'm going to unbox the AirPods 3, again with the simple design for unboxing. And you get your instruction manual, some compliance guides, no stickers for this one. Now when it comes to the AirPod 3s, I'm not certain how often I'm going to use these, just because I have the AirPod Pros that offer noise cancellations, which the AirPod 3s don't. I mean, I know they do have spatial audio and all kinds of new technology from a sound perspective, and they probably stay in your ears a lot easier, but noise cancellation for me is a must, so this is probably something that I'll use at home, maybe infrequently, but when I'm traveling, I'm probably going to use the AirPod Pros. But let's go ahead and unbox this and see what this looks like, at least. Okay, so looks a lot like the AirPod Pros case. These are the AirPod 3s, so definitely shorter stems than the original AirPods. And just a pretty sleek design. I like how there are no rubber pads, because those are the things that don't always work out for everyone's ears. And apparently these AirPod earbuds are supposed to fit in a variety of ears and have a less likely chance of flying out. So these are the AirPod 3s. Pretty much the design of the AirPod Pros with some additional features, which we'll talk about a little bit more later in this video. But yeah, not bad. And then also this MagSafe battery pack, which we'll also unpack. Oops. Okay, so it's got this nice leathery, slippery feel to it, and it's pretty durable feeling. Now these just attach right to the back of your iPhone, like so. But now the only problem I have with these is I wish they came in the different colors. But white is the only color that you can get these in. But they do attach pretty easily, and they hold pretty securely, and they do add additional battery capacity to your phone. Again, I mean, I wish there was the different colors, because on occasion for different colors, different situations, this can look a little awkward. And it feels like there's this little give or panel that lets go, which I assume is the magnet when you detach it. And when you do attach it, it says iPhone can charge to approximately 90% while using a MagSafe battery pack. So you can't charge your phone up to 100%, but you can charge up to 90%. Okay, so while my iPhone's setting up, we'll go ahead and take a break, and then we'll come back Now starting with the blue, like I mentioned earlier, this year's Sierra Blue color is slightly lighter than last year's all-new Pacific Blue. Now what I do like is that blue now seems to be more of a standard offering for Apple, which is something that I've been waiting for since I got my first iPhone. Now the gold is pretty much the same, albeit a little bit lighter, but this will be somewhat of an upgrade for my wife since she is switching from her smaller iPhone 12 Pro to the larger iPhone 13 Pro Max. So that's going to be a big change for her. Now right off the bat, looking at the screen for the iPhone 13 Pro Max, I can easily tell that it's brighter and clearer than last year's iPhone 12 Max. It's got 1000 nits of brightness and also has a noticeably smaller notch at the top of the screen, which we hope eventually will go away completely. Some of you, if you look very closely, may also notice an improved clarity and smoothness. And this is all thanks to the ProMotion technology, which gives the screen a better adaptive refresh rate than the previous models of the iPhone. Now it's hard to tell, but if you hold the iPhone 12 and iPhone 13 side to side and look very closely, you'll notice a slight improvement in the smoothness of scrolling and sliding. You'll also notice improved clarity in the images and icons and even the events and colors. Now, because this is an adaptive refresh rate, it does swizzle and switch refresh rates based on the applications you're using and your overall usage. And as a result of that, it can save you battery life. Which also leads me into the next improvement over last year's iPhone, which is the battery, which is about 18% larger. Now, although that's better, this additional battery capacity does come with some drawbacks. One being that the phone is noticeably heavier and it also gets hotter to the touch as you're using it. I mean, just using it after setup and I can already feel this phone getting heavier and warmer than my iPhone 12. Now, even though having a larger battery has those drawbacks, I guess it's still a good thing because you can go longer without needing to recharge, which is great. Especially for someone like my wife who is constantly streaming, reading articles, and also playing games on her phones when she has downtime, even though she might not like the additional weight on the phone. In fact, I guess you can say that has become one of the biggest focus points for new phones in general. It seems like every new phone has an improvement from a camera perspective. Now, like I mentioned before, the initial difference you'll notice is cosmetic, with the larger lens frame and also the larger bump, making the lenses protrude from the phone a little bit more. You'll notice that this iPhone 12 does sit a little off and wobbles a little bit more than the previous iPhone. Now this iPhone 13 Pro Max, just like the iPhone 12 Pro Max, still has a 3-lens configuration. It's also still got the flash, a pinhole mic, and LiDAR. Now, when it comes to the lenses, all three have been further improved from the previous model. The primary 12 megapixel camera now has better stabilization built in. It's also got different photographic styles to choose from, which allows you to capture different thematic themes in which your image uses specific presets. This is great for ease of use. And then there's the ultra-wide lens, which is a little sharper and now has an auto-switching macro mode. The telephoto lens has also been improved. It's got a larger sensor and now offers up to 3x optical zoom, which is slightly better than last year's iPhone 12 Max model. Now the biggest change that was announced this year is the all-new cinematic video mode, which Apple spent a lot of time demonstrating, with the biggest concentration on the autofocusing feature of the camera, which I gotta say is pretty cool. But it's probably not a feature that's gonna make me change and use my iPhone for a movie or film production camera. Now other than those changes, everything else is pretty much the same. I will say though, I gotta give it to Apple that these iPhones always feel and look like premium phones. This one in particular feels super solid, and I love how it looks and feels. And it's got a pretty beefy weight to it as well. So now that I've spent some time talking about the iPhone 13 Pro Max, let's spend some time talking about the AirPod 3. Now what I've noticed is that there's a slight change to the design of the bulbs, as well as the shorter stem and the removal of the silicone earpieces. Now, what Apple said is that these have been designed in a way as to make them less likely to fall out of your ears, which I gotta say for me isn't true. To me, these feel a little big in my ear, as opposed to the previous AirPods and the AirPod Pros, and they don't feel as secure. In fact, it doesn't even feel like it's really in my ear, and instead like it's just lying on top of my ear. Now I will say, it doesn't seem like it'll fall out no matter how much I shake my head, so that's a good thing, but it just doesn't feel secure. Now from a design perspective, both the case and the earpieces are now sweat and water resistant, so you can use them in the rain, which I don't think is something that I have ever done. Now another update that these AirPods got is that you can now charge these using the iPhone's Mag charger. But surprisingly, you can't use the battery pack to charge these AirPods, which would have been nice. And at the same time, you also can't use the phone to charge these as well. So hopefully that's going to be a feature that's going to be available in the future. Now from a sound perspective, Apple has leveled up these AirPod 3s, and they sound as good, if not better, than the AirPod Pros. These AirPod 3s also do have built-in spatial sound, and I think that's pretty cool because it really does immerse you in the environment of any track you're playing. It makes you feel like you're surrounded by instruments and sounds all around you. Now, like I mentioned before, these are great and they sound great, but I'll probably end up sticking with my AirPod Pros for a majority of the time just for the simple fact that they have noise cancellation, which I use frequently, especially when I'm in public or traveling. These just don't have that function, so it pretty much defeats the purpose of using them. Anyways, that's my review for both the iPhone 13 Pro Max, the AirPods 3, and accessories such as the MagSafe battery pack. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, and even if you didn't, I'd appreciate if you support this channel by smashing that like button and subscribing. Please also make sure you ring that bell icon to get notified when I post new content. Until next time, see ya.